Hello and welcome to Anime Review Winter 2023 edition. If you watched my preview kind of thing that I did last week, you'll kind of get the gist of what I'm trying to do. But just in case, it's pretty simple. I'm just going to be reviewing a bunch of anime. And since last week, I added one more anime to the list. I added UniteUp, which is a sort of a boys idol anime by Cloverworks. So instead of doing 11 every week, I'm doing 12, which is worrying. If if anyone's seen like the one I did last season, I only did 3 anime: Mob Psycho, Chainsaw Man, and Bleach. And like I kind of talked about each anime like maybe like 20-ish minutes each. Every review ended up being like an hour long, and I'm upping from that 3 to 12. So like is this like show gonna be like 4 hours long now? Like I hope not, but like it is what it is, really. Also kind of reordered the way I'm gonna be talking about the anime. Like in the preview I kind of went sort of alphabetical, but like now I'm gonna like try and like put the series I think people would want to watch first at the beginning, so and then like the sort of lesser known series near the end. And also I'll keep to my word that I said in the last week as well, where I said if I end up like not really enjoying a series, I'll probably just drop it, which I do want to like at least get to like episode 3 of the anime, 3 episode rule, but if that doesn't end up happening, then it is what it is. If I drop an anime by episode 2, god, it has to be some like really bad anime. But nothing droppable yet so far this season, at least I don't think so. So yeah, let's just start off with the first anime, which is Vinland Saga season 2. So this episode's title is Slave, and instead of like giving you like a little like prologue or anything like that, recap, anime starts off with the OP, which is it was really cool. It's actually a really cool opening. I actually like the song a lot. It's by Anonymous. Never heard of her, but damn, the song's very, very enjoyable. I don't remember much about like animation wise, honestly. It was kind of dark, but I enjoyed it. And the song, at least from what I gathered, was like something about a river going to the ocean, and maybe it's like washing your sins, something like that, maybe. I don't know, I wasn't really paying attention, but I liked it. Then the episode starts off with new character Aina and his desire to become a warrior to protect his village and his family, his mother and sister, because his father died, or at least we don't know why he died, but I'm assuming it's because the Vikings attacked beforehand, because they say the village was destroyed and then they rebuild. So like with the anime is about Vikings, so I'm under the assumption that the village was destroyed by Vikings and Vikings killed his dad, and then history repeats itself and they get invaded again, and Aina doesn't die, but his sister and mother die, which is kind of a shock. Is it a shock? Now, like, they kind of set it up pretty obviously, because bro, Vinland Saga, these Vikings are evil as fuck, and this kind of opening is a little too happy, so there's got to be some deaths somewhere, which is like a stark contrast of like the first episode, where if you I'm assuming everyone's watched the first season, right? but they kind of start off the season with like Vikings being depicted as like these cool badass warriors who are like fighting in the ocean, like Thor's being the fucking badass he is, and then like as the season progresses, you're kind of eased into the idea that these Vikings aren't like the greatest people in the world. Like they kind of rape and pillage a bunch, and it's like kind of immoral and problematic. But you know, in this season, they start off immediately with Aina's family and village being destroyed, and then Aina becoming a slave, and he's like on board a slave ship to be sent out somewhere. I guess a caveat, by the way, I have read the Vinland Saga manga, so I know what happens, and from my memory, I know Aina's backstory obviously, and like it's all canon, but I'm pretty sure they don't show his family get killed, at least at the beginning of this arc. And I like that the anime is doing this because it's not really a spoiler, I guess, but like throughout this arc, that actually I don't know if this season's gonna be 13 episodes or 24, but at least I'm under the assumption that it's like a 24 episode season. If I doubt this arc is gonna be for 24, maybe it'll be like 15 and then like a little afterwards, maybe something like that, I'm guessing. But where was I leading with this point? Oh yeah, Aina's backstory being shown at the start invests you into his character a lot more than the manga ever did, because the manga, they kind of just throw you into him being a slave and then him joining the farm, and then like the preceding story and like what happens with Thorfinn. But here, you know, it kind of like puts the perspective on him, like his desire to be a warrior, his village being fucked over by Vikings, and you know, you're kind of like more on board with his character instead of like, man, who the fuck is this side character? Why is the story focusing so much on him? Like, I want to see Thorfinn be badass. But you know, it seems like Mappa is going to be doing some changes, which is interesting, and I'm excited for it. I guess, you know, just to finish off the rest of the episode, Aina is being sold as a slave. He tried escaping once but got caught. Leif is there still searching for Thorfinn, and Aina ends up getting bought by some farm owner, and then is like, because of his previous farm experience in the village, you know, he's probably looking forward to working at the farm, and we see older Thorfinn. And yeah, that's pretty much the episode. I'm trying to like really go through some of these recaps and reviews pretty fast, because I don't want to spend 4 hours talking about anime. Or maybe I do, or maybe I don't. So, you know, it is what it is. I will say though, when they were showing the farm, like the kind of like shots they were using were fucking pretty as fuck. Like the wheat, goddamn, I don't know if it was CGI or something, but like that shit looks shiny and like majestic. I'm like, damn, makes me want to become a farmer. Not really though. I don't think I'm cut out to be a farmer. I'm kind of like weak and lazy, but it is what it is. You know, I'm here talking about anime instead. Anyways, episode, it I did enjoy the episode, and I think it was kind of cohesive as well. Not cohesive, but like it kind of gets your brain going, because immediately you're questioning like, yo, what's Thorfinn doing here? How long has it been since the first season? How is Aina gonna play a part in the story? And you already think about like Aina's, you know, backstory. Like he wants to be a warrior, or wanted to, be a warrior. He probably has a distaste for Vikings and all that kind of shit. So yeah, like I'm interested to see what comes of this season, but at the same time, nothing like amazing yet. And like I'm saying that as a manga reader who knows where this arc is heading and like know how divided people are on this arc, because some people feel like this arc goes on for too long. Some people enjoy the arc because they enjoy the payoff. I don't think what I said was too much of a spoiler, but like I enjoy the arc, and I agree slightly that it's like a little long, but if they're doing these slight changes, like fitting in the Aina backstory at the start of this episode, like I'm excited to see what else they can do with it. And yeah, if I were to give a rating for this episode, not the series, right? Because I think Vinland Saga is like a 10 out of 10 series, honestly. And but then I guess that's technically with wit. Like I wonder, like, what's with Mappa stealing wit studio animes? It's kind of crazy. Not that like I could really notice. I mean, you notice a difference in like studios, honestly, because there is something about the way Mappa draws their characters that is just different. And I think Wit tries to like make a lot of the action scenes seem very dynamic, versus Mappa, who try to like stylize everything, which, you know, it's not like either one is bad, but it's at least like it's different from when Attack on Titan aired. I felt like there was a lot of hate on the Attack on Titan change in studio, and like when the episode dropped, people were like, what the fuck is this shit? I didn't see that with Vinland Saga, that I'm not really paying attention, but like I don't mind it. I thought the episode looked great, and like story wise, it's Vinland Saga, it's pretty good shit. Though this episode kind of, it's not slow, but it's rather, you know, where as Vinland Saga fans, I think a lot of people are just like, yo, where's Askeladd? Yo, where's Knut? Yo, where's Thorkel? You know, although Thorfinn's cool, he's not really like the star of the series until now in this arc. But I might be speaking too early with that. There's a bunch of other stuff I could say about this episode, but like I said, I want to keep these episode reviews brief. So yeah, 8 out of 10 episode, and I'm gonna move on to the next anime, which is Tokyo Revengers. Now, another sequel, but I want to like, I guess because like maybe I should have did this with Vinland Saga as well, but it's kind of too late now. I'll give like a little brief overview on my thoughts on the first season of Tokyo Revengers, which is I actually enjoyed the anime, though like I feel like a lot of people didn't. But it's pretty obvious why people didn't, because I think Takemichi's a fucking idiot, and I think everyone can agree to that. Like who the hell is like, damn, Takemichi, I want to be just like him, he's so cool. But I mean, he has cool moments, but he's not really a cool character. Like, he's just gotta stop crying. I know like the whole bit is that he's a crybaby hero, but goddamn, please stop crying, it's so annoying. It's like, stop being useless. It's kind of it is what it is. But the whole thing about Tokyo Revengers is that by the end of every episode, it makes you want to watch the next episode, because like there is mystery, and there is like sort of like, oh, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Oh, that was pretty cool, wasn't it? Hey, what's gonna happen next? And that's how season 1 ended, with like a crazy cliffhanger. And I ended up reading the manga afterwards, because I'm like, bro, I cannot end here. You cannot tell me to wait. I think it's been a year since it came out. I can't wait another year for a season, bro. I need to know what's going on with Kisaki. I need to like know how Takemichi ended up. Like this mystery is like I'm too invested for some reason, even though I hate Takemichi so much. But I think by the end of it, I was like, oh, you kind of need a character like Takemichi because he's so stupid, but he kind of drives everything. So it really is the question, like, who the hell has Takemichi as their favorite character in Tokyo Revengers? Because like it's gonna be either Mikey, Draken, any of the, what are they called? Not lieutenants, are they? I mean, like, captains? Fuck. It's been so long since I watched Tokyo Revengers. I forgot so much. I forgot a lot of the characters' names. I mean, you can see on this image here, like the white-haired Mitsuha? I think that's his name. So like that could be someone's favorite. My favorite character is Chifuyu, because he's cute as fuck. People like Baji and whatever, but yeah, it's like, you can like these characters, but how the fuck do you like Takemichi? I mean, you can like what Takemichi does, but how can you... Man is so useless and he cries all the time. It's actually annoying. But, the story's good though, so fuck, I'm in too deep now. But yeah, like, I guess let's start with like the episode where it starts where the last season ended, with Kisaki pointing a gun after killing Chifuyu, points a gun at Takemichi and then says something like goodbye or like something like that, and then my hero, and you're like, what my hero, what does that mean? And where this continues, the place has a blackout and you hear like some fighting noises, and then it cuts to outside where someone is standing. Someone saved Takemichi and is standing over him. And is it Baji? Baji died. Yeah, it's not Baji, because like that would make no sense. Instead, it's Kazutora, because if you paid attention in the story, he got imprisoned for 12 years. So because the time skip is 12 years, he is now out of prison, which is it's not contrived, but it's very like, damn, it is what it is. Not it. Man, I'm very bad at like using phrases. And anyways, Kazutora is here, and you're like, damn, Kazutora saved Takemichi. Now the two of them can save Toman. And then Kazutora starts beating up Takemichi. I'm like, yes, fuck this cunt. I really enjoyed when Kazutora was beating him up. It was very enjoyable. I'm like, finally, he gets it. Though Kazutora doesn't really do it for like, because he finds Takemichi boring, but more because Toman apparently has become very immoral and beats up women and commits crimes, which is not that shocking, but it is one of those things where it's like, oh, this is not what Toman was supposed to be. Mikey said we're supposed to be good to each other and be friends. I actually forgot what Mikey said, but like, I don't think Mikey, I mean, they explain, they said something like, oh, Mikey had a dream for us or something like that, but like, did they ever explain it? Maybe it's just been a year and I forgot. But anyways, after chatting, they're like, oh yeah, like, we're on the same side, we want Toman to be fixed. And then Kazutora takes Takemichi out for a drive and is like, yeah, Mikey's gone evil, it's because of Kisaki and Black Dragon, and we gotta like find some way to fix everything. I've got someone I want you to meet. It's Naoto, the brother of the woman that Kisaki killed, or Kisaki got killed. That makes sense, right? He got her killed. Yeah, okay, yeah, makes sense. And then you think, oh, Naruto's here. We can dap up and go back into the past and fix things. But instead, Takemichi gets arrested, and it's one of those things where like I understand why this happens, because it's supposed to be a thing where like, no, first of all it's like the shock thing where it's like, oh, Takemichi's getting arrested, why? But it's pretty obvious. I don't know if it's pretty obvious. Maybe it's because I read the manga, but it's one of those things where it's like, oh yeah, Naruto just wants to talk with Takemichi and like appear like, you know, he's arresting a gang member to the public, or not to really to the public, to the police. But yeah, it's like Takemichi gets arrested, and then his game gets shown video evidence that Chifuyu got on him about dude, my lighting is so bad, it's actually like pissing me off. It is what it is though. Of Takemichi being like a gangster, and like, you know, he gets getting Hina killed and Akun killed, and like, and then when he finds out, he starts freaking out, and then Takemichi cries like a bitch again. I'm like, bro, please stop crying and just do something. I mean, like, I kind of get it though, because he's gone back to the past and to the present like multiple times now, and every time it's been fucked up, even though he tries to fix everything. But he's such a bitch about it. It's kind of anyways, you know, after crying for like maybe like 6 minutes, Naruto is like, yo, you gotta go back to the past and fix things, you know, Black Dragon, figure out that shit. And then he gets sent to the past where he's not playing, you say you play bowling? That doesn't make sense, does it? I'm playing bowling. He's bowling with Hina, and when he goes for his second shot, you know, he's apparently like, they had like a little tidbit. They're like, oh, you know, I used to be really into bowling. You know, I had my own gloves and bowling ball. I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember that ever being a significant point ever in the series. Like, is he gonna have a bowling career later? I mean, I could be completely wrong with like saying it has nothing to do with the series. Like, I could just be an idiot. At least in my opinion, I'm like, I don't know what this adds to Takemichi's character. Like, it doesn't make him more likable, that's for sure. Anyways, he meets up with the Black Dragon guy, the guy with like blue hair with like a little, what do you call that when it has like a pattern in their haircut? I mean, he's right there on like on the art. He's right there. He's next to the girl. Look at that. Oh my god, the timing. I was looking right at him when I was trying to explain him. And yeah, so we're left wondering, how did Black Dragon end up corrupting Mikey? And you know, if I didn't already know what happened, I might be interested in what happens in the next episode. But at this point, I'm like, I have to go through Takemichi crying again. I think that's one of the better experiences when reading the manga, is that I can easily gloss over every time Takemichi is crying and read at my own pace. But with the anime, I have to like, they really stretch out him crying, and I'm like, I can't take this anymore. It's so bad. But yeah, that's why I'm giving this episode a 7 out of 10. Like, which isn't actually a bad rating when you think about it. 7 out of 10. Like, I actually liked the episode. Like, animation wise, I felt like it was a step up from last season, because last season had like a lot of I don't want to say what's the word, shortcuts. No, what's the they're not trying to like shortcut the anime. I don't know if I'm making sense with that. The word where like cut corners. That's I said shortcut instead of cut corners. They're not really trying to cut corners here. Like, I think the first anime tried to do that a lot, where like they tried to like do like some animation tricks so they could like stretch things out longer, or you know, not have to animate a certain section as hard, which isn't like necessarily a bad thing. Like if done not correctly, but like done in a creative way, it could like adds like personality and character to a scene. But what ended up happening in season 1 a lot is that like, man, this story is so interesting, but like some of these scenes are like, why is it animated like this? But yeah, like I still stick by like, damn, the mystery kind of interesting though. So I think that really carries the anime, and so do the characters. That's part of the story and mystery, I guess, is like all of that kind of goes on together to like improve this anime. So like getting to see Kazutoro again, seeing Naruto, seeing that we're onto like another mission into the past, find out about Black Dragon. You know, it intrigues a viewer, and even though I say I read the manga, I very vaguely remember this arc. I mainly remember the ending, so you know, I'm still interested to see what happens next. Like it doesn't make me want to drop the anime. So with that, that's it. Can I give my rating yet? I give this episode a 7. Yeah, I said 7 out of 10. Yeah, like it's a solid number. It's not really bad in particular. It's just, you know, it's not mind-blowing in any way, but you know, it's episode 1 and they know that people are gonna watch this anime because it's insanely popular. And also, if anyone else is watching on Disney, I'm guessing the Hulu release in America is the same, right? Is it just me, or like the translations are different? Because I don't remember them being called hoodlums, at least in the Crunchyroll translations. I could be wrong. Like, so I've always thought it was like either delinquents or Yankee, or like some other word. I don't remember hoodlum, but if it is hoodlum, damn, that's a goofy translation, I'm not gonna lie. But other than that, solid episode from Tokyo Revengers. Let's move on to the next anime, which is NieR Automata version 1.1a. Okay, overall, I thought this episode was alright, but you know, it left a lot to be desired, and I'll get into that a little bit, right? I mean, do I have to explain the episode? I mean, I think I will, just to recap things, like just for me, you know. 2B, along with a bunch of other androids. Like, do people know they're androids yet? I mean, surely, I think they do. 2B, along with a bunch of androids, are being sent to battle to kill a target, and a bunch of them die, but 2B lives and fights a bunch of people. Well, not people, but robots. And after fighting, NieR comes to help and is like, I'm a scanner, I can like help you, blah blah blah. And they work together, and after fighting, the big robot thingy comes and fights them, and NieR gets fatally injured, and then 2B's like, oh no, NieR, I'm sorry. That's not what she says, but she said something like a little back and forth, and then she goes to fight, and then she kills one of them, but then 3 new ones come out, and then NieR is like, yo, let's touch black boxes, and then they make an explosion and then defeat the remaining enemies. That was a terrible recap, but like, I'm gonna just say, if you're watching this anime and you haven't played the game, just play the game, right? Or like watch a playthrough, anything, because in my opinion, it really sucks that I have to say this about NieR. I don't know if it sucks. it sucks that I have to say this about almost every game adaptation into anime. I say almost because Cyberpunk is a... I've never played the Cyberpunk game though. I've heard like people enjoy both. Oh man, what's with my like accent? Not accent, but like the way I'm like mispronouncing words today. It's kind of wild. Anyways, I mean, the Cyberpunk anime was like very different story wise to the game, at least from what I know. So there's that. But when a game is being adapted, not one for one, but like their story is being adapted to anime, a lot of the times it's just play the game, because you know, like on the top of my head at least, you would say most of the visual novels, like Danganronpa, I was about to say Detective Conan, Ace Attorney, you know, like you'll be like, just play the game, right? But you know, I guess some of the exceptions would be Cyberpunk. What's another one? Ah man, I have one like on the top of my head right now. Anyways, there are anime adaptations where I'm like, yo, just not you can enjoy the anime, but like the anime adaptation is good. But this is not one of that's such a harsh saying though, because it's not like the anime was bad. I'm just saying, it's the reason why it's hard for a game to be adapted well into an anime when it's like they're following the same storyline is because how can you expect to turn a 30+ hour experience into 12-13 episodes, which is just 4 hours, right? Like if you're really like cutting things not up, what's the word? You're cutting things out, and you know, part of NieR, even if you watch just cutscenes of NieR, I think even that might be like maybe like 5 hours. I could be wrong with that, but there are a lot of cutscenes in NieR, and in my opinion as well, like some of those cutscenes look great in like its 3D engine versus the 2D anime that A1 Studios is opting for. Especially like, I'm not the kind of person to shit on 3D CG a lot, but whenever they're on their like ships here, like the little personal ships, it felt very off-putting, and like I'm like, what is this? But you know, it was by no means bad. It's just one of those things where it's like, it does lower my opinion on the anime. It's just, you know, like, because this episode was basically the prologue of the game, and there was nothing in this episode that would convince me to tell someone, yo, watch the anime instead of playing the game. And yeah, that's not a good sign, really. Now, after my negative Nancy spiel, the episode was actually pretty cool. Like the opening was aimer, and like, you know, it was actually like pretty cool, well animated, because it was kind of going through like a city that kind of looked, no, it was definitely like a sort of 3D landscape kind of deal. I don't think that was real, but it looked photorealistic almost. But it was like, you know, you're traveling through like alleys and buildings and stuff, and you know, you would have like characters on the walls, and like birds and shit pop out, and aimers fucking singing. Like any song with aimers, like it's gonna slap. So at least I think it's aimer. if it's not aimer, then like it's kind of embarrassing what I'm saying right now, but I'm gonna hold my ground and say it was probably aimer. So the OP was cool. The ending bit with like the puppets and like them recreating the ending of destroying the station, that was pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. So like, it I have a feeling that this anime is going to be more of a fan service kind of anime, not in the terms of like, oh, a bunch of upskirt shots or 2B's ass or 9S thighs or anything like that. Like, not that kind of fan service, but fan service in the sense of like, oh, you're a fan of the game, here, watch the anime, get to re-experience the story, and here's like some little tidbits to help you along as well. I have a feeling it's gonna be more like that than an experience on its own. So that's my opinion on it. But yeah, I don't really have much else to say. Same with Tokyo Revengers. I'm gonna give this a 7 out of 10. You know, not that, like, I know I kind of shat on the anime quite a bit, like this entire segment, but you know, it was actually like really well animated. Like the fight scene with 2B, like, oh, like damn, like it shit kind of looks good though. Like nothing mind blowing, but it was well animated. I don't know what else to say besides that. Like 2B like is still such a like well designed character. Same with 9S, like, you know, the whole gothic maid kind of outfits they have. I guess like the only downside is that like the 3D engine made the characters seem more thick, if that makes sense. But in here, like they kind of got nerfed. They're like, that's a complaint really for a degenerate like me, so I don't think people are really paying attention to that kind of stuff. Yeah, I don't really have much else to say, so that's it for NieR. On to the next anime, which is Trigun Stampede. Now, I'll give like a little what's the word? Not caveat. I mean, I said this in the preview as well. I have not watched the original Trigun, and I've heard that this series Stampede spoils the original Trigun and like kind of reveals a lot of the big mysteries in the first episode. And I was like, I read these like comments before I watched the first episode. I'm like, it wouldn't do that. And then after watching the episode, I'm like, oh, I could see how like that was supposed to be a big reveal later on. It is what it is. So like, I want to add that if you haven't watched the original Trigun, you may want to watch the original Trigun, but I didn't, and I'm not going to. I'm gonna try and experience this anime without watching the original and see if like my opinions and thoughts are different. And like, if you're like me, then you know, we can be on this journey together. So yeah, with that, let's begin with the beginning, which is Vash is on a ship as a child. It's not really a ship, it's more of like a station with like a bunch of pods of people sleeping, and the station starts exploding and they have to evacuate. So then you have Vash, NieR, which looks like a twin of Vash, and Rem, like the sort of mother figure. But they don't really call her mom or anything, they call her Rem. So maybe it's more of like a caretaker. But yeah, like she sends them, or she puts them both in a pod and like sends them off, and but she doesn't go in with them. And it's like, it's kind of like a, you know, Goku Superman situation where it's like, oh, you two go on without me. Though in Superman and Goku, it's really only like one kid. Not really sure where I was going with that that thought line, but yeah, they escape, and Rem dies in the station. And then does the opening start, or does it just like cut straight to a new scene? Oh no, the opening actually plays along with a what do you call it? with the scene of like the desert land with Meryl and Roberto. So yeah. Anyways, fuck man, I got a burp, which is really, I don't want to like burp into the mic. Anyways, yeah, you're in this like desert land with Meryl and Roberto. They have like 3 moons, which is pretty cool, and they're off to find the humanoid typhoon, which is Vash, and we see him hanging upside down along with like some vultures or some kind of birds. And Roberto's like, oh, this is what you get for messing with the Badland gangs. Wonder what that's gonna be about. And then you get to see like they have like a little interaction where like they save Vash, and there are like some officers coming in, and they're like, oh, have you seen Vash the Stampede? He's a very evil person who kills a bunch of people, you know, have you seen him? And then Meryl's like, oh yeah, I've seen him, he's way over there, blah blah blah. And then Vash's like, oh damn, you covered for me, thank you. And then, you know, because she's a reporter or journalist, not really sure what the difference is. I mean, I guess a reporter reports, a journalist journals. That doesn't really make much sense, does it? Maybe they're interchangeable, I don't know. Anyways, yeah, Meryl wants to get the first scoop on Vash, and then if Vash does turn out to be a criminal, then she'll hand him in. But you know, Vash being like the goofy man he is, he's like, oh, let's go talk at a diner over there in the town. And when they go over there, you find out that the town loves him and doesn't really like much outsiders. Where am I going with this accent? Outsiders. And the town is actually having trouble with water because their water I forgot what they said, but their way of making water failed. So I think it was the biological generator, could be wrong. But anyways, they're like, oh shit, we don't have any clean water. We gotta get it from other towns. And they go with Vash and the woman who's like owns the bar diner kind of place to the biological generator, which they explain produces everything humans need on this desert planet. I'm like, oh, that's kind of interesting. Like, how did people live on this planet before these generators? You know, like, I wonder if like they're gonna dive into that kind of lore, because I don't really understand much, to be honest. Anyways, we find out that Vash has a $6 million bounty, well, I think it's dollars, has a $6 million bounty on his head, and that could cover the cost for a new generator. And then Roberto, being the drunkard, is like, yeah, how about you settle things with a duel instead? And Vash and the police officer, I think it's a police officer, some sort of officer, is like is having a duel, and it's actually like such a cool action sequence, I'm not gonna lie. Like the way like the sort of dust particles pick up, the panning of the cameras, oh man, it was a stellar sequence, I'm not gonna lie. And Vash wins by he didn't really like, he did like knock out the officer, I guess, but you know, the officer shot a bunch of like, what are they called, cluster bombs into the sky, and then like he threw a rock up, shot a rock, and then the rocks blasted all the bombs in the sky. It was pretty cool. Not really sure if it's, it doesn't matter if it's believable. It was cool as fuck, not That's all that matters. And then after that, we get a little backstory with the Vash, where NieR seems to have orchestrated the station blowing up, and is kind of like an evil person, and because in that ending sequence, like intro sequence really, with Rem sending Vash and NieR off, NieR reached out his hand for Rem, but then Rem was like, nah, I can't go with you guys. So maybe it was a thing where NieR intended Rem to live, but because of what happened, it was just Vash and NieR. And you know, Vash is like, damn, you killed everyone along with Rem, how could you? And NieR was like, ha 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 ha, I'm evil, motherfucker. That's exactly how he sounded. And then apparently he has renamed himself to Million Knives, which is such a, it's not a cringe name, but it's very how do you say like I don't want to say cringe, because that makes it sound like it's a bad name, because it's kind of a cool name, but it's kind of cringy if I think that like an 8-year-old came up with it, you know? There's something different about, like, you know, a child coming up with the name Million Knives versus like some guy being named Million Knives, because like I would be like, oh, you're Million Knives? That's kind of cool. But then I find out that like he came up with that name when he was 8. And I'm like, how do you come up with the name Million Knives when you're 8? Like, does he have a million knives? I don't know. Anyways, NieR, I assume it's NieR. Someone in a cloak is like playing a piano, and yeah, like you're left to wonder what's gonna happen next. And like the ED plays, and man, the ED's fire, man. I'm not gonna lie, like it was pretty good. It's pretty good, man. Now, I just want to say that I thoroughly loved this episode, which I'm not sure if everyone would agree with me, but like the studio that is doing Trigun Stampede is Orange, and they also did Beastars, and I have never watched Beastars, but I do know that apparently it's CGI, 3D CGI, and so is this anime. But I loved the way they do the CGI in this show. Like the way that Vash, Meryl, Roberta, like every character really is being animated is so at least in my opinion, done with like so much love and care. Like if the characters are really emoting with like their movement, their gestures, their like every time they're on camera, you're like, wow, like they're not stoic or like they don't have like robotic movements at all. It's like they have character to them, personality, which kind of reminds me, if anyone's played the original Final Fantasy VII. I've never played the remake. I plan to, but I played the original Final Fantasy VII, the one with like the blocky character models, and like I remember going into it like, oh man, this game is like hella old, you know, like this came out like what, maybe like 96, 97, somewhere around there, and I was like, man, like where am I leading with this? Like the character models are so, I don't want to say bad, because like the bad for our time, right? But back then it was probably like really impressive what they did. But I think what really sold Final Fantasy VII, like graphic wise for me, is that the characters emote so well even with like their blocky models. And it's like, you know, you really get the feel of their personalities for Cloud, for Tifa, for Barrett, like Aerith, like all the characters. like their the way they move and everything, their gestures when they're like, you know, like shaking, blushing or whatever, is like, it has so much personality. And like that's how I feel with this, where obviously the models are like infinitely better, but along with that they emote really well. And I think, at least now, I'm starting to think that's probably the problem I have with like a lot of CGI, is that sometimes a lot of the 3D CG stuff, when they're animating that, it's really hard to make things seem expressive. But in this anime, they absolutely kill it. Like, it's amazing how they're doing. And I think the voice acting plays a big part with it as well, because I never watched the original, but I do know that, I don't know every character, but a lot of the characters have different voice actors, obviously, because like I think the anime is like maybe 20 plus years old now, so obviously the voice actors might be a lot different and maybe not be able to do the same voices as they used to. Sorry about that. But Matsuoka as Vash, I think it works splendidly, even though, like, you know, everyone knows them for, you know, Kirito. What else does he do? I think he did Soma from Shokugeki. He's doing, he does a lot of those like sort of like main characters who are like super popular with women and, like, you know, harem kind of types, where, like, you know, the ikemen kind of people, right? And Vash kind of really suits that kind of character archetype. Not really though, because like I think Vash is supposed to be more of a goofball, if anything. Though you could say some of Matsuoka's other characters are also goofballs, but anyways, all I'm trying to say is Vash is hot, and I did not know that coming into this, but now I'm like, nah, like Vash. I want to say, like, my perception of Vash before I watched this episode was like, oh, he's probably like the really cool type, kind of like a Ban Midao from Get Backers. But now I'm like, hey, actually he is probably is like Ban Midao from Get Backers. I'm seeing the connections now, especially the glasses. Yeah, like Vash is very likable as a main character. At least Meryl was kind of the main character in this episode, but I'm assuming Vash is going to be like the central point of the story. So yeah, looking forward to finding out more about him and where he leads us. I think another thing I want to point out is the fucking backgrounds of this anime are absolutely like gorgeous. Just like everything, right? Like when they're in the desert and like you see like the texture of the sands, when the car and the diner, like the metal everywhere, like you can see it's rusted in places, and like the little do you even call them props if like it's an anime background? Like I'm assuming you can, right? Like, so you have like cigarettes, so you have like beer, water glasses, and like everything is like around here, and like it's so well decorated. It's like, oh, it looks amazing. Like I had to like look up who's doing this, right? And I found out the person, it's Yuji Kaneko, who is a part of like a company, a background company. I don't really know how like animation studios really work, but I mean I sort of do, but I'm not really sure how like this sort of separate work is done, because I think it was called something like background art, and then they credited Ao Shashin, which is headed under Yuji Kaneko. And like I was looking at like the other animes he's done, and it really makes sense, because like he's also done Ranking of Kings, Blue Period, Kill la Kill, you know, like a bunch of other animes as well. Obviously those are the only ones I listed, but those three I listed, right? I remember vividly vividly. I remember me being so amazed by those backgrounds, and here again, he strikes, and I'm like, I gotta keep my eye out for this guy, because like I feel like any anime this man touches is gonna have like some of the most amazing backgrounds I've ever seen in anime. Anyways, I just want to end off this point with saying like, even if you know, people have like complaints about this adaptation, are we calling this a reboot or a remake? I don't know, but I just want to say, like, as someone who didn't watch the original Trigun, I found the world very immersive. Like, I'm invested. I found Vash very likable, and I'm interested to see what happens next. And I think I'm a Trigun fan now. Not really sure where Trigun comes into play though. Like, does Vash have a Trigun? Like his Valentine? Valentine, is that his name in Final Fantasy VII? The vampire guy? Anyways, yeah. All I can think of is that like there'll be a gun with 3 barrels at some point in this anime. But until then, I give this episode a 10 out of 10 because it was that good. It was a very good episode. I highly recommend other people to watch this anime. It was absolutely splendid, beautiful, and interesting. So yeah, with that, let's move on to the next anime. How many have I done? I've done 4 in 50 so minutes. This is probably going to be a 3-hour thing, isn't it? I'll try and rush, I think, the rest, honestly, because like, I think I'll do a thing with like the first 4, Vinland Saga, Tokyo Revengers, NieR, Trigun. They're like the plot heavy ones. The other ones are kind of like not more lighthearted, but like I doubt they're gonna have more plot. Like this Nagatoro segment, it's not gonna be long. Trust me. Anyways, Nagatoro episode 1. I do realize that 2 episodes have dropped because Japan apparently had a double premiere, but I only watched the first episode because that's all that was on Crunchyroll at the time, and episode 2 just dropped, and I'm like, man, I'm not gonna watch it now. Like, I'll wait later. So if I'm assuming episode 3 is gonna drop on Sunday, so next week I'll be covering 2 episodes of Nagatoro, but you know, so it is what it is. Anyways, let's start off with episode 1 of Nagatoro, where the episode's called It's You and Me Senpai, where we have like 2 new characters, a student council president and some pink-haired girl, and the pink-haired girl catches the president cheating on a test and uses it to blackmail him, and the whole thing is that they have a very similar dynamic to Nagatoro and Senpai. I don't want to call him Senpai. What the fuck? It's Nato, as Nato, and you know, they kind of like do a little back and forth with Nagatoro teasing him again and being like, oh, you read this manga too? I kind of like it. I relate a lot with the girl. You relate with the dude because he's getting teased. Nagatoro, stop teasing me. Wait, what's the translation of this anime again? I feel like I'm just brainwashed by Karakai Takagi. Don't toy with me. So, you know, replace teasing with toying with, you know, like, same thing really. But yeah, then we get into like a little shoe licking action where you know, the president is like licking water off the girl's shoes, so she like, you know, tries to tease him with like a bottle of water, and then he like pushes the bottle, not pushes, but tries to grab the bottle, and like some spills on the shoe, and then you see him kneel down. You're like, oh my god, he's gonna lick the shoe. This man's a fucking fiend. He's down bad as fuck. Fucking like, what's up with this dude? But then nah, he just goes to wipe it. And yeah, good scene though. I'm very much into shoe licking. What? Who said that? The OP played, and I'm gonna be honest, I think I prefer the first OP, but you know, it's only my first viewing, so maybe it'll grow on me. I don't know, but yeah, it was alright. Next segment was them hitting them on their way to school, and you know, Naruto is kind of apprehensive about greeting Nagatoro because he's like, oh shit, man, what if she toys with me again? What if she makes fun of me? Oh man, also, it's kind of weird, like me like interacting with a girl. And then Nagatoro notices and is like, yeah, what are you doing? And then starts being all like, you know, oh man, what a creep, you a stalker or something? Oh my god, what the fuck are you doing? Ew, yuck. And then she hugs him from behind, and then allegedly, assumingly, he gets a hard on. Now, if he actually did, I think they would like kind of emphasize it more, or maybe they chose not to emphasize it because that'll be pretty weird. Either way, who's in the wrong here, really? I don't think anyone's in the wrong, because the thing is, Naruto probably enjoyed what happened, and you know, Nagatoro got to tease him, so you know, like it's a win-win situation in my opinion. Oh fuck, I should have started off this with like talking about season 1 of Nagatoro. God damn it. You know, I'll do it after I do this episode recap. Anyways, as they continue on, Naruto senpai thinks about, nah, I gotta double check. Is his name Naruto? Hachioji Naruto. Yeah. Naruto goes on and is like, oh, what if I hug her from behind? No, that would be kind of weird. I'm not gonna do that. Then he trips and hugs her from behind, and then she freaks out and bumps him back, and the two friends come in. I forget the second friend's name, but one of them is named Yoshi something. And they're like, oh, what are you doing being a couple, being lovey-dovey in the morning? But yeah, don't really remember what else happened, but it was really cute, and you know, damn, wish that was me. Is that creepy? Nah, can't be, right? Anyways, next scene is Nagatoro teasing him again over wearing tights on her legs. Not that you could put tights anywhere else, but you know, she's like, oh, you should put them on for me. And then when he does do it, he goes to do it. It goes a little wild with him touching her legs. And I'm like, damn, I wish that was me. Well, he said that. Anyways, she's like, damn, you miss looking at my bare legs? But tights. I'm more of a tights person than a bare legs person, but I do enjoy both. As a leg fetish and a foot fetish and a tights fetish man. Very impressive scene, if I do say so myself. Anyways, next segment was a sushi restaurant where they're using the funds from the school festival, culture festival, some sort of thing that happened last season. I forgot a lot what happened last season, but yeah, they're at the sushi restaurant, and he's like, oh man, am I just here to be their slave and work as like being the person who picks up the sushi? And it's actually really cute that like it kind of seemed like Nagatoro noticed and was like, oh wait, you're the the reason we did so well at the festival anyways. Like we should be treating you if anything. And that's actually really cute that she noticed that. And they all start like feeding him different sort of sushi cocktails of sorts, where it's like, they're mixing different sushi dishes together. And she gets jealous a little bit, but then it's kind of cute. She talks about her sushi dish being someone being pregnant because it's like 2 different fish roe, and I'm like, there's a joke in there somewhere that I'm gonna steer away from, because I'm not a creep. So if you heard me talking about the rest of this episode, you might already think that. Did I say this was gonna be a fast review for Nagatoro? I guess not. Anyways, it was kind of cool that Nagatoro returned for season 2. I really enjoyed this episode, and if anyone doesn't know, it's a different studio and a new director as well, but you can barely notice the difference. I don't know if it's because like they're just doing such a good job of recreating the same style, or if it's they have similar staff, or maybe like the same assets. I don't know how anime studios work, but anyways, like whenever they went to Nagatoro having the noodle arms, or the ending bit where like, is it saturation? I don't really know what to call it, but when her hair becomes like super shiny and everything kind of changes like in color a little bit, like there's been a filter placed over, you're like, damn, like that really looks like the first season. And I think they did a stellar job. And I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10 because I love Nagatoro. Oh my god, this is such a good anime, guys. Like I'm not. I love Nagatoro. Oh yeah, I said I was gonna give my like thoughts on like the first season because some people may not know how I felt. Now you might already get the gist of it if I from like my little episode review. Anyways, it's like a lot of people have misconceptions about Nagatoro, where they think it's this girl Nagatoro is bullying this poor dude. But if you paid attention to the first season and you're one of the people who enjoy it goes way deeper than that, because what the anime really is about is Nato, the main character, senpai, sort of being, I don't want to say led on, or like, how do you say, like, how Nagatoro is forcing him to change and grow up and mature after, assumingly a sort of negative past with women, or maybe like a non-existent past, and like, he's just that uncomfortable around women, or whatever his experiences or predicament. Kind of forgot. Not that it really matters, to be honest. At least to me, I don't think it matters. It's the way that Nagatoro invades his personal space, and then he learns to grow from that. And there's also like a little budding romance coming between them as well. Because like, all I can say is like, the first episode of season 1, this man literally cried interacting with Nagatoro, and then like little by little, every episode from then on, he interacts more with Nagatoro, and it ends up with him taking the step forward and like chasing after Nagatoro when she something happens. I think she like runs off crying or something, and like he's taking that step forward when like they're at like a I think, was it the ice cream, or it was like some sort of festival, like he grabs her arm and stuff like that. Like he's becoming more comfortable around her, and that kind of growth comes from Nagatoro invading his personal space, and it's because of stuff like that. Like I really enjoy. Like I and there's like a bunch of cute moments as well, like scattered throughout. So I'm like the only really like sort of downside I think to this anime is that they really like try to push that, you know, Naruto is kind of a fucking perv. And you know, he is a degenerate, just like me, you know. He's goddamn, he's just like me, for real. But you know, never to the point where he's like doing anything, you know, malicious or, you know, illegal, criminal. Like it's more Nagatoro just constantly teasing him for his like sort of perverse nature. I don't want to say like perverse nature, because that really makes him sound like he's a like malicious character, but it's more of like he's a dude, and dudes have their thoughts, and it's like it happens. So yeah, I like this anime. 10 out of 10 episode. I love Nagatoro. Can't wait to finish it. It's so good. Anyways, on to the next anime, which is Tomo-chan is a girl. This anime is anime of the year. Now, on with that, let's start off with the recap, where it starts off with a confession between Tomo and Jun. Is his name like Junpei or something? Or was it? I don't know if he like is giving him a nickname or if his name is actually Jun. Let me like quickly check. Junichiro, that's his full name. Yeah, so Tomo is giving him a nickname, Jun. Yeah, she's confessing to him, but then he's like, oh yeah, I love you too, bro. We'll always be together, bro. Shit's absolutely hilarious. And I'm like, you know, and then she's like, damn, it's been like this since middle school. This dude doesn't see me as a girl. It's so fucked up. Which is like crazy, because like Tomo is bad. You know, I try to like stop myself from saying this kind of stuff about underage girls. But damn, I love tomboys, man. Like, god damn. Anyways, we get introduced to their friend, mutual friend, not really mutual friend, another friend, Gundo, who is like, damn, Jun really only sees you as a guy. I only see you as a girl because I've seen your body like in the locker rooms and in the bath, and I'm like, damn, why does this anime look so good, bro? Anyways, yeah, Gundo, Misuzu Gundo, and Jun don't really vibe together, because like, I guess the whole thing is that like they're kind of competing for Tomo, not in like the romantic sense, but like, you know, they're both friends with Tomo, but not really friends with each other. But they do have like, they kind of, what's it called? When they have like a relationship, but you wouldn't call it a relationship. Yeah, they have like a bond, but you know, they kind of have like an energy towards each other. That would should I just go over now? Yeah, this hilarious moment, right, where Gundo obviously knows that they like each other, or at least that Tomo likes Jun, and Gundo is like sort of teasing Jun about it, like, yeah, what if Tomo found a boyfriend? And it's like, I love you, boyfriend. You're the only one for me, and she's gonna start spending less time with you. And then Jun pushes her into the rain, and then they just have like a stare off for like half a minute. You're like, dude, this shit is hilarious. I love the comedic timing. Well, it's not even comedic timing, really. It's like the way they shoot these scenes, absolutely hilarious. And then they have another one where it's like Jun is teasing, not Jun, Gundo is teasing Jun again about how Tomo is like getting all buddy with another guy in the karate club, and he just takes the scrunchie out of her hair and then throws it to the ground. bro. Like, so I feel like these are the kinds of things that I find hilarious, because it's definitely something I would have done back in school, like to people to annoy them, and or like to people when I find them annoying. And it's like, it's so petty, but it's so funny. I love it. It's very relatable. Anyways, you find out that the three of them, Gundo, Jun, and Tomo, were childhood friends with each other, and you know, even like since they were kids, and a new, would you say friend? A new character, at least. Classmate is like pushing that Tomo and Jun have a thing going on, but you know, obviously because like they both do karate, and you know, the guy's like, oh, you get like hot and heavy, yeah, and then Jun's like, yeah, we do like really like contact sports with each other, something like that, but like, you know, sounds very sexual. And Gundo clears it up and is like, oh, no, they're not doing anything sexual. And the guy's like, yo, I should like push them together because like they obviously like each other. But then Gundo's like, no, only I'm allowed to play with them. Damn, I fucking love these characters. Anyways, new character, blonde boy, captain of the karate club, Misaki, is training with Tomo, and after a moment of you know, Misaki like being like, oh, you're very charming actually, because of your titties. That's not what he actually says, but you know, they kind of bond and get close to one another. And then you find out that Misaki has like a little fan group, like 2 Gyaru girls, and like they start to get jealous over Tomo, and it's like, oh shit, I gotta get this fucking girl away from my man. But then after like meeting up and like they're talking it out, the 2 girls kind of fall for Tomo, and it's like, I'm like, damn, Tomo is pretty hot, eh? I feel like this sort of recap on like a slice of life anime like this doesn't really work as well as some of the plot heavy anime. So I should have just like cut this entire like thing in half, and I just said like what I liked about it rather than a full recap. I'll do that from now on. You know, this is a learning experience, okay? Like, hopefully the production and everything gets better as I do this. But yeah, 10 out of 10 anime. Rie Takahashi is the voice actress for Tomo. She did a splendid job. And like anyone who knows Rie Takahashi knows she did Megumin from Konosuba. She's done Emilia from ReZero. She's Hu Tao from Genshin. You know, she kills it at those like chirpy, cutesy character archetypes, right? Takagi from Teasing Master Takagi, and this is like, at least I think it's a first kind of differing role from that kind of archetype, where it's more of a you know, it's a tomboy character, right? She has a deeper voice instead of like a high-pitched one, and she's absolutely destroying it. And I always knew that she would be phenomenal in this, because if anyone's heard her on the like the Fate Go radio, or like any of her like sort of more talk showy kind of things, like she actually has like a really nice normal speaking voice instead of like, you know, going to that high pitch and like, oh my god, hello, I'm a cutesy girl, you know, like she has a nice deeper voice as well. And like her being able to go into this role here, it's Like, people may find it impressive. I'm like, bro, I done knew that Rie could do this. Like, she like, go for real. She's my favorite voice actor for a reason. And I did check out the English dub as well, and Lexi Niero did an amazing job as Tomo as well. I didn't really watch the full episode. I kind of skimmed through it, but from what I heard, like the scenes I watched, she nails the tomboy voice in English in like very I don't know really how to explain it, because it's can you really like say tomboy voice? I mean, you can, but I don't think that really aptly describes the voice, right? Because like, there is a tomboy voice, but how do you say like? Because it's not just like a girl with a deep voice. It's a lot of the mannerisms with it, like boyish, sort of mannerisms, right? So I don't really know how you could like jot that down in words. Maybe someone else can. I can't, because I'm terrible with my vocabulary, lexicon, word usage. Dude, I just keep looking at my fucking camera, and why the fuck does like the light, like, dude, should I get like a light behind my camera so I'm like well lit at all times? I hate it going dark. It's driving me crazy. Anyways, yeah, 10 out of 10 episode, anime of the year. So good. I love Tomo. I love Rie. Next anime, UniteUp. This is the anime that I did not include in my preview last week, but you know, I'll include it now because you know I intended this to be here, but like it wasn't announced that Crunchyroll was going to be airing it, so I was like, oh, is it not being aired? I guess I can't include it. And then like a few days before like the episode was about to drop, Crunchyroll was like, hey, we're doing this anime as well. I'm like, god fucking damn it, I already uploaded my preview episode. But anyways, yeah, UniteUp. Episode starts off with two hot boys doing a performance. Then it goes to Akira, the main character, redheaded high school student. I think he's high school. Singing to himself alone, and his mom, a single mom, peeps in, is like, hey, you're singing to yourself, you're so cute and handsome. And then, you know, he goes to school. We find out that like he quit baseball in interaction with his friend Kachan, and you know, he doesn't really have a direction in life right now. Like all he's just going through school for the heck of it at this point. And you know, without a father figure as well, you know, it already introduces like, damn, how's this man gonna go through life, you know? Anyways, they go to karaoke together, and the friend secretly records him and then uploads it online, and eventually, I'm assuming there's a time skip, he gets a message from a company, a talent agency, to go meet up, and they go to Smiley, where the two performers at the start of the episode are there, and like they're like the representatives of the company, and they're like talking about signing him. And Akira, the main character, is like, bro, you've been recording me? What the hecky? That's kind of weird, bro. Without my permission? That sounds kind of illegal, really, when you think about it. But then after like a little deliberation, they go back home, and he starts reading the comments on like the videos, and you know, it's a bunch of people saying like, oh my god, thank you for your singing, your voice, oh, you're amazing. And then Kachan even gives him a little speech. God, I love the name Kachan, mainly because I love Bakugo. Kachan gives him a little speech where it's like, oh, you know, hearing you sing always makes me happy. because like, you know, whenever I'm down and depressed, I just put on your song of you singing Crossfire, you know. And then yeah, with that, Akira is down to become an idol, and that's where we're at, where he's on his journey to become an idol. And the ED that plays is really cute as well. It has a lot of art pieces of him as a kid with Kachan, and like, shit, man, this whole shit is so cute, bro. Oh my god, Akira is so hot. But he's underage. I shouldn't say that. I mean, I said the same thing about Miyamura in Horimiya. This anime is done by Cloverworks as well. If you don't know, they did Horimiya. What else they do? They do a bunch of those, like they did Dress Up Darling, One Direct Priority. Was Cloverworks the one that was like an A1 Pictures, like a side studio, and then they rebranded to themselves? Or am I thinking about a different studio? I want to say it was Cloverworks. I could be wrong, but I'm gonna stick to my guns and say Cloverworks used to be part of A1, but then they split off to be their own brand. And I think they're like honestly one of the best anime studios in this modern age we're in. Because if you don't know, I'm giving this episode a 10 out of 10 because, oh my god, this shit was so good. It's actually insane how well animated this thing is, how well the backgrounds are, the music, even like the story to like an extent as well. It's like, I'm like, what? I'm invested with Akira and like where his like idol journey goes to, and like a lot of the other characters that haven't been introduced yet, like the previous idols, some of the newer characters that may be introduced later on. Like, at least I don't think every character in this opening art thing has been introduced yet. I know that the two on the left and right was shown at the end of the episode, the blonde and the blue haired guy. Maybe some others as well, I can't really remember, but you know, I'm interested in them. And yeah, I'm like, damn, UniteUp. Also, I didn't listen to all their covers, but if you go on their like YouTube page of UniteUp, like this shit's been going on since like 2021, right? So 2 years ago, they were like uploading covers by Akira's cover name. It was something like Kitu Koya, something like that. But it's like, I'm like, wow, wait, it's been going since then. And like, he even did like a cover of like one of my favorite Vocaloid, I think it's a Vocaloid song, Hare Hare Ya. I was like, damn, that shit bussin'. Not as good as So's cover, but like, you know, he's like, that's just different, right? Like, but I didn't check out all their songs, but I also saw they did Kata Omoi, which is Aimer's song, and a bunch of others, right? And I'm like, damn, I feel like the whole thing here is supposed to be all these boys were like independent artists. I don't really know what you would say, but like they do cover songs and like they're uploading it online. And if that's like the whole premise of this, I'm like, I'm excited. I want to see where this ends up. And yeah, 10 out of 10 episode. I'm gonna take a little break, refresh my water, and we'll continue with like the second half of anime. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Well, yeah, second half. Be back. Next anime is Spy Classroom. Now, I guess start with a episode recap. Opening sequence is some dude who's like doing a little painting, is being told to do a mission to become the greatest spy in the world. And then we get into a cut of a group of girl spies, female spies. This group right here to my left of girls, they were on a mission at like some sort of factory, and like they're beating up guards and stuff, and then they're like, oh, someone's shooting us, but my bird didn't spot them, so it must be another spy. And then flashback. Or at least I assume that's what happened. I'm assuming they were at like some sort of mission place, and like now we're learning how they got to that mission. And so we have Lily, the main character, the girl at the front here, who is voiced by I should have wrote this down. God damn! I just want to say this at the start before I say anything else. All these fucking characters are voiced by some of the greatest like modern voice actors in Japan right now. Like it's kind of crazy. Like they have so many A-list voice actors. I would have went and like talked about each one, but I'm too I guess the word's lazy to do that. I apologize. But if you ever look up the voice actors, you're like, damn, she did that? Oh, that girl did this? I think one of them is Yuki Aoi. One of them is Makima's voice actor, I think. I think one of them is Yui Yokohama from Snafu. Like, oh my god, so many goated female voice actors. And it's kind of amazing. Anyways, Lily is being transferred to a new school, or at least like having a graduation thing at a new school. I didn't really like pay attention, but you know, something's happening. And when she goes and meets up with her class, she finds out, or they find out, that everyone's a washout, where like they're not very successful spies, and but they're all tasked to live and work together to finish a mission. And you know, we're introduced to all of them, like, and like they all have names, and I mean obviously they all have names, but along with their names they have code names as well. And Lily's code name is Flower Garden, which is also the title of the episode, Flower Garden 1. So I wonder if it's going to be a thing where it's like every episode we're going to focus on a new character, and then that'll be the title of the episode. Oh, that'll be pretty cool. Anyways, you find out that the dude that's teaching them, Claus, who is the greatest spy in the world, is terrible at teaching. And I'm not gonna lie, that bit of a person being so good at something but they can't explain it to a new person, it always gets me. Like, that shit's so funny when he's like, oh, to pick a lock, just do this, just use the pick correctly. Like, what do you mean? Like, that shit's so funny. I cracked up laughing, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah, if you want to get a sense of my taste of humor, like, that's all you gotta do. Taste of humor? You would say sense of humor, right? Yeah. Anyways, the girls start to worry because they're like, oh shit, we're all like washouts, like terrible spies, and we're being sent to do an impossible mission. Like, we're all gonna die. They're just using us as sacrificial pawns. And with that, Lily meets up with Claus at night and is like, yo, we should go sightseeing tomorrow to like sort of take a break and chill out a little bit. And then when they go on like a little date outside, it's not really a date, but you know, pretty much is. They have like a little interaction, but then like they go out on a boat to go out into the lake kind of place, which is one of the sightseeing spots. And that's where you find out that Lily set up the trap. I don't know why that took me so, that was so hard for me to say. I like stuttered. But anyways, she uses a poison on Claus, which isn't a deadly poison, it's more of a paralyzing poison, and is like, oh, this poison doesn't work on me because I'm immune to it. My body is, you know, it is what it. Oh my god, what? I was gonna say, what did I drink? But I just drank a cup of coffee. Is coffee supposed to make you burp? Anyways, her body is somehow immune to this poison, and you do a little flashback where her entire village was used as like an experimental place on poison, and her entire town village died, but she alone lived because she's immune to this poison. And and then boom, Claws set up a trap as well, and Lily's legs get cuffed, and she's like, oh, how'd you do that? And he's like, oh, you fell for my trap. See, I knew you set up this plan since last night because it was very suspicious that one of the top sightseeing spots wasn't in that like little pamphlet you gave me, the lake. So I set up this boat with this trap for like if we ever to go on this boat. And then she's like, oh, but how'd you make us go on this boat? And he's like, he left the out of order, or like boat is for repair or something like that sign on the thing. And he's like, oh, how'd you do that? But how'd you make me not even notice? And it's like, oh, when they were entering the boat, he said like, oh, it's a man's duty to get on the boat first so that they can hold the lady's hand stepping on the boat. And you're like, ah, shit, you fell for my trap. Damn, yeah, you're a pretty good spy, aren't you? Shit's goofy as fuck, but I love it, honestly, because then they're like, okay, now that you fell for my trap, can you like give me the antidote so I can like get us out of here? And then she's like, I forgot the antidote at home. And then she's like, oh, so you got the key to get me out of these cuffs at least, right? And then he's like, well, really, I thought you were gonna give me the antidote and then I could just like pick the lock myself. And then she's like, oh shit, the poison wear off in like 10 minutes, so it's all right. Then he's like, we're gonna sink in 5 minutes. And then he's like, you better row the boat like your life depends on it, because it really does, and mine too. And yeah, shit's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie. And then that's where Claws comes up with a new plan for teaching, where he sets up Lily to become the team leader because of her proactiveness in setting up this trap with Claws. Because the whole reason she set it up was that she'll get Claws to send everyone back to different fields or schools or whatever, or she's just gonna kill him, right? And because her whole thing is that she lived, so she doesn't want to like fall for this scheme that the girls thought up, that they're all going to just be sacrificial pawns and this whole thing is useless and pointless. It's like she wants to be useful in some kind of way because she was saved by spies. She wants to live a life as a spy where she gets to save people as well. And like, yeah, I'm like, damn, that's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. And then so she becomes the team leader, and Claw's new teaching method, that makes sense, right? Is the students have to defeat him. And I'm like, damn, this is just like Assassination Classroom. They just replaced assassination with spy and made everyone a girl, which is, I am not complaining. I actually thoroughly enjoyed this episode, and like it helps that they got goated voice actors for everyone, but like even story wise and premise wise, I'm interested. I know this isn't really the anime that like is gonna be like anime of the year or anything for anyone, or like anything like that. Like a lot of people might not even enjoy this kind of anime, but for its kind of goofiness, I enjoyed the first episode, and I feel like it's gonna continue with like that sort of formula of these different characters have like a specific thing they're very skillful in. For Lily, it's probably like deception and poison. So I'm like, oh, I wonder what a lot of these other characters are. And there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 girls. So I'm like, that's a lot of characters to go through. I wonder what else is gonna happen. So yeah, with that, I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10. Like, I enjoyed it that much. It was very good and very surprising, because I kind of came in with low expectations, and yeah, it like met it and kind of went a little bit above. So what can I say? Very enjoyable episode. Next anime, Giant Beast of Ours, or Ours no Kyojuu. Yeah, so let's begin with the recap of episode 1, the promise that started it all. We get introduced into the world where apparently like there was this great war. Actually, there was a great war in Spy Classroom as well. Am I getting the two mixed up? Anyways, something happened, and there's a bunch of giant beasts roaming the world, and then people try to like defend against them, but then we have like these paladin characters who are like especially powerful, and then they have like this sort of tool that like absorbs some humanoid creature, and like they go to fight the giant beasts, and yeah, so that's the world we're in, I guess. The OP plays, and the OP makes me think that this anime is going to be very slice of lifey, which I'm looking forward to. If this is going to be more slice of life than like politics, I'm looking forward to it. But if they're doing what I saw in this first episode, God, I might drop this anime. Anyways, we're led off into this main character, the girl who escapes from prison, and she's running away from the guards. She gets like some old lady to help her get clothes and whatever, and it's like, it's a new day. She finds a little cat dude or girl, I think it's a dude though, who's like sort of selling stuff at a market, and he sells her a ring called the Ring of Promise, which apparently only ever fits onto the chosen one, or if anyone else wears it, they get cursed and dies, something like that. Anyways, she puts on the ring and then therefore buys it, and you're like, it is what it is. We have this other guy, Jiro, the already dead, who met the girl that escaped from prison the other night when she was like swimming in the water and then jumped out. He's looking for a job, and then the cat dude sends him off to this direction where like they're fighting giant beasts, and with that he when he signs up, he like they all have like different names, like someone, I am blah the lightning, blah the pussy. I don't know where I was leading with that. Anyways, you know, he calls himself Jiro the already dead, and then some people make fun of him, but then when it comes to battle, that guy that made fun of him gets into a dangerous spot where he's like he gets knocked by the giant beast that they're supposed to capture, and Jiro goes to save him in a really cool way, where he's like running on walls and shit. We have like this little one scene thing where like some girl is talking with like, I guess like the leaders or elders of the empire, and they're all like, oh, it's our time to attack right now, you know, blah 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 blah, something like that. But then the girl's like, oh, they don't understand that if we go to war now, we're gonna lose a lot of people, and there's, you know, the people are what matter. So it's, you know, it's one of those things where like, I guess the leaders are like disconnected with the world and like have their own agendas. So I found that very boring, to be honest. Like, I'm like, God, this is one of these animes, fucking hell. Anyways, the girl's on the run again because the guards find her, and then when she's on the pier next to the ocean, some shadowy thing starts coming out of her, and 2 of the guards die and like disintegrate. But then she starts like kind of going crazy and yelling and emitting like a blue light. Jiro notices, and then is like, oh, he has like, there's like the little flashback sequence where, you know, like he has some sort of story. I don't know what it is, but you know, there's like some sort of past person that probably died, and he's just like being a drunk now. Is he being drunk? Is he drinking? I think he's drinking. And but then like meeting this girl kind of snaps him out of it, and like he goes to save her, and then they jump in the ocean, and then he kisses her forehead or something, and then they get into like this sort of dreamscape world thingy. And then she's like, oh, my name is 22 Kumi the 22nd. And Jiro's like, what's a cleric doing without a paladin? So we find out that these sort of creatures were like, I don't know, would you say creatures? These kind of beings that I guess can like turn into a tool or empower a tool are called clerics. I'm guessing that's what she is. And you know, I'm guessing like he says something. I don't know. I kind of stopped paying attention, and you find out the cat dude is like watching everything from above, and I'm like, I'll be honest, the ED was fire though, but overall a very over the place episode. If I wasn't doing this series, I would have dropped this this series on this first episode, because I'm like, it's not like it was a bad episode, like it was well animated, well voice acted. It's just I am not into this plot whatsoever. Like this fantasy world with like giant beasts roaming the world is like the giant beasts aren't even, in my opinion, well designed or anything. Like they're not bad. I don't know what to say. It's like, because anything I say might like kind of trash on the show, but because it's not like anything is bad about it. It's just nothing's interesting. Nothing makes me want to be like, oh my god, I'm so excited by what happens next. I want to see more of this world. But I'm gonna tell you right now, the world is probably something like this. Paladins, these special beings, maybe they have a bloodline, or maybe it's more of like special people who are like greater paladins, and then they have a sort of sidekick character, a cleric who helps them in their battles. It's a fantasy world, so you're gonna have like these sort of anthropomorphic characters. Do you call them anthropomorphic if they just have like ears and stuff? I don't know. But you have like these characters with like sort of animal features and shit, right? And they have this sort of spaceship thing, so there's like some technology kind of thing as well. And then they're tasked to save the world. Not really save the world, but like maybe travel the world, do some shit, and I don't really care. Also, 22 is probably like some sort of experiment creature. I don't know, but like I don't know. I don't care. I really don't care. Like, oh my god, this is a 6 out of 10. I would give it lower, but like I gotta like admit that like it's not terribly animated. But I'm uninterested, and I might drop this series. I'm not gonna lie. But yeah, that was Oz. Let's move on to the next anime. do I have to talk about this anime? I mean, I guess I have to, right? My life is Inukai's dog, InuHiro. This first episode was called Shake. It's only 12 minutes long, and it's basically about a guy who's become a dog, gets taken home by a classmate, Inukai. Then he takes a bath with her because like the dog is like shivering in the rain, and then the mom's like, oh, are you gonna do tricks with the dog? And he's like, oh, he's just a puppy, he doesn't know any tricks. And then when they're alone together, they start like, oh, sit, shake. And then she names him Pochita, which is the same name as the chainsaw dog devil thing in Chainsaw Man. Connection? Maybe. I don't know. You know, I could be a degenerate and like say some very degenerate things, but instead I'm gonna say like this anime actually kind of is interesting in the aspect of it's talking about like gender roles, because you know how, you know, there's that whole talk that we're in a patriarchal society where men rule the world kind of thing, and women are kind of I don't want to say like belittled. I don't know what the word is. Like, I'm not saying that. I'm saying like that's some people's perspective on the world, right? That like women are always second to men in everything, and that's problematic, and you know how people are trying to fight against that sort of systematic patriarchal nature. And this anime like goes into that, because in the spin, what if the man was a pet instead and is this submissive creature where, you know, the woman, when she says to sit and to shake, the man listens and submits to her. And you know, there's a flip on the gender role that society has placed on us. And you know, it spins it in like a wholesome way as well, because by the end of it, the main character is like, you know, I'm kind of glad I'm a dog, because now I'm able to hold her hand and also see her naked in the bath. But you know, that's something else. I watched the censored version, by the way, because at least for me on High Dive, they don't have the uncensored version. I don't know if they're gonna add it, but I will say though, this episode was, it's kind of amazing how easy it was to watch this episode. Like, at no point was I at the beginning I was like a little apprehensive. I'm like, why am I watching this again? But then for some reason, I don't really know why. Maybe it was the bath scene, but like, it was so easy to watch. Like it seemed like time flew by, and I was like, it's not that bad. 7 out of 10, by the way. Next anime, Mou Ippon. Mou Ippon, first episode. Ippon. It starts off with like 4 girls training in a dojo, and then we have then it cuts into a tournament arc. Not a tournament arc. Is it a tournament arc? Middle school tournament where you have the main character and Glasses Girl versing another school, and they're losing. The Glasses Girl loses first, and then it's the main character's turn into third match. And at least the way I read it was it's a best of 3, but we'll play out all 3 matches, and there's team, squad, club, school lost the first 2 matches. So this third match that the main character is playing is kind of meaningless, but she's like, I'm gonna do it anyways, and I'm gonna try and score an ippon, a point, in judo. And she loses, and embarrassingly as well, like she gets like choked out, and it gets recorded by someone and they upload it online, and it's pretty funny. I'm not gonna lie. And the girl that beat her was kind of apologetic the whole fight. It's like, oh, I'm sorry, because like she sort of hit her in the face at one point, and she started like her nose started bleeding, and she kind of felt bad about that. But yeah, and then like after the fight, when they're like leaving, main character talks about how she's gonna leave judo and like never join a club ever again, just be a normal girl, get a boyfriend in high school. And the girl that beat her like seems to like is trying to like make conversation with her again, but isn't able to. So it's yeah, they meet up with a kendo girl, and they kind of have like some little slice of life cute girl action. Like, I do kendo, I do judo, oh, you do kendo here at this place? Yeah, we had a tournament over here. You know, that kind of slice of life thing. And they're like, oh, I'm gonna go to this high school. You wanna be I could be your tutor, you know, like that's a pretty hard school to get into. And then like, it's like, oh no, I already have Glasses Girl, she's better. And time skip into high school, where you know, they start deliberating about some stuff, where the kendo girl is trying to get them to join the kendo club, but they obviously don't want to. But then some shit's happening at the dojo at school, and it's the girl that beat the main character in the fight at the beginning. Give me a second. Yeah, so yeah, that girl is causing some trouble at the dojo, where she's trying to keep the tatami mats in the place because the kendo club is trying to get rid of them, because the judo club is being what's the word, disbanded, something like that. And then she's like, oh, if we have 3 more members, then we can continue the judo club. But, you know, that's where the new girls, not the new girls, the 3 main girls come in, and they're like, oh, you 3, they can be the new members of the judo club. And well, I'm not sure about kendo girl, because like, I'm pretty sure she's still part of the kendo club, but the 2 girls could be. But then main character obviously is like, oh, I don't want to do judo anymore. But then they get in a little scuffle, and like, it's actually amazing how that was animated. Like the little scuffle they had when like they do one judo throw, but then like she kind of counters it and does like another, and then like the way the camera pans and like it goes to like some of the background characters, and you're like, oh my god, wait, this anime is actually pretty well animated, I'm not gonna lie. Like it looks amazing. And then she scores a point, and then it's like, damn, stop making me remember how much I enjoy judo. And then the friend's like, oh, the reason I joined judo was because of her, because back in that tournament in the beginning, right, the girl even asked like, oh, why'd you even do judo in the first place? And then she kind of brushed over the question. But here it's like, yeah, it's because like, you're my friend and you invited me to do judo. And you know, the main character did judo apparently because her older brother did it, so that's why she did it. And then the friend's like, you know, you can skip going to the beach, you don't need to like do stuff in the winter when it's cold and blah 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 blah, you know, all the like the downsides to judo, like the troubles and stuff. But then she's like, no, I'm doing it because like, and it's like, it's one of those cool things where it's like, damn, she likes judo, even though she says like she hates all this stuff, she likes it though. Like she likes you know, she likes the challenge, the troubles and stuff like that. And like, as much as she says, you know, she wants to do other stuff, she wants judo, and she also wants a boyfriend. And it's like, it's very endearing. And then we get like the opening plays, and the opening kind of spoils a little bit, because I feel like it shows a lot of characters and then shows there's gonna be like a tournament arc later on, and I'm like, oh, I kind of wish I didn't know that was gonna happen, but it is what it is. But from the opening as well, I'm like, what? Wait, like, if these are scenes from the anime, I'm like, it looks great. Like, oh my god, like the animation of the fights, it really matches, in my opinion, like the intensity that they want these scenes to be. It's like, you're like, wow, I'm invested. It feels like a sports anime, but with like cute anime girls, and I'm like, I don't know what to say. Like, I love it. I love it. I even love how color wise, like the palettes they use is really soft, and like, you know, not very like harsh colors or anything like that. It's like everything kind of blends together well, and like, I feel like that kind of helps the sort of the giliness of the show as well. So like, and gives like a little character as well, because like, you know, the characters are a lot more rounded, drawn as well. They're not very sharp, but I like that it's not going down like the traditional sports anime route where it's like, oh, hype, and all that kind of stuff. It's taking advantage of how it's girls doing judo, but it's like, oh no, we gotta add some more of these cute elements to it as well. But it's not like every character is like really bland or anything, because even like the main character has a lot of personality in everything they do. Like when they were like walking out of the tournament in the beginning, like she has like the bag, what do you call that, strap over her head instead of like, you know, over her shoulder like a normal person would, right? It's like oh that's a little childish thing, right? And, you know, she kind of acts like a little tomboyish, and like, you know, Glasses Girl seems like a really good friend as well, and you're like, oh my god, like the way they play off the Kendo girl, like ignoring her at times, like that's just pretty funny. So I'm like, I'm interested. I'm eager to learn more about this show and see what happens later on. I'm giving this episode a 9 out of 10. I would have given it a 10 out of 10, but I feel like I haven't seen enough yet to do that. So for now, I'm going to give it a 9 out of 10, but I'm really looking forward to what happens later on, and I think it's going to be one like a shocker for some people with how good it is, because I think it's like, from what I don't see anyone talking about this anime, and I feel like it's pretty underrepresented. So yeah, if someone's watching this for like anime recommendations, I recommend this anime. Just check it out. I don't think it's gonna be for everyone, but I enjoy it. So there's that. Next anime, and last anime of the 12, Ayakashi Triangle. I'm gonna try and speed through this because we're already at like the 2-hour mark, but we have the first episode. It's Matsuri, Suzu, and Ayakashi, and episode starts with Suzu, the main girl, eating crepes, and attracts Shirogane, a sort of cat Ayakashi. Ayakashi being, I'm guessing, like their word for yokai, you know, kind of spirit creatures, and how he wants to eat her. And if it's in the sexual sense, I have no idea, because this is an ecchi anime. I don't think it's in a sexual sense, but they make it seem sexual, which is weird. But you have the main boy, the redhead on the right over there, intervenes and stops Shirogane from doing this stuff. But then Suzu's like, no, don't do that to the Ayakashi, they're good people, look at how cute the cat is, she's a cutie cat. And Matsuri's like, wait, Suzu, your thighs are so thick, I think that Ayakashi's already cursed you. It's so stupid, honestly, but you know, I'm not complaining, I love ecchi. And then Suzu's like, oh, I'll release him someplace safe, let me take care of this. You know, you're already in your like exorcist ninja uniform, so that means you got some Ayakashi to exercise. Go do that shit. And you know, he goes to exercise a human face spider. And then Suzu has like a little flashback and talks with Shirogane a little bit, where he's like, you know, me and him used to play with Ayakashi as kids, but now Matsuri is different, he's changed, he tells me to get away from Ayakashi and like be friends with people instead. And you know, and then it cuts to Matsuri talking to his grandpa, and is like, oh yeah, she's with Suzu, she's with Ayakashi named Shirogane. And the grandpa's like, wait, Shirogane, he's the king of Ayakashi, like super powerful. And then Suzu, like, it seems like they're having like that a kind of classic different location but same conversation, because Shirogane's like, yeah, I'm Shirogane, the king of Ayakashi, but Suzu doesn't really care and is like playing with her, and it's very sexual the way they're making this, but you know, I'm not complaining. And then it turns out that Suzu's a Ayakashi medium, which is basically, at least the way I understand it, a human with very large spiritual pressure. It's not Bleach, spiritual energy, and if she gets eaten by an Ayakashi, they absorb her infinitely large energy. But then as Shirogane like turns into a big cat and is about to eat her, Matsuri comes, blows him away, Shirogane away with like some wind jutsu shit, and tries to seal him with like the scroll that the grandpa gave him. But then the Shirogane is like, wait, if I get sealed, that means those two are gonna be doing perverse activities with each other. They're gonna be fucking. I don't want that to happen. How fucking dare they? And then he does a secret art gender swap on Matsuri, and then Matsuri becomes a girl, and then he gets away. Anyway. So yeah, and now Matsuri is the girl that's on the left, the white-haired girl, and like the ending bit had like some censored scenes of like him grabbing her tits, his tits, and I've heard that there's apparently an uncensored version, and I can't wait until I get to see that. I wonder if Crunchyroll will release that. I hope they do. But anyways, yeah, I really like this anime. If anyone doesn't know, it's by the artist, the same artist that did To Love Ru, and you know, this really brings you back to like the classic kind of like late 2000s, early 2010s ecchi comedy romance anime. You know, before all these isekais came in, it was just stupid school romances where a bunch of ecchi scenes came out of nowhere. And damn, do I love this anime. And this brings me right back to my childhood. I love it. You know, some people say like when you grow up, you kind of get out of your ecchi phase. I never left. But I did kind of leave, honestly, like, cause like when these isekais kind of came in, I'm like, man, what the heck is this? This ain't like the old shit. The old shit never did this kind of stuff. But now like this is out. Ayakashi Triangle brings that old school kind of flavor back. You know what I mean? It's like in hip hop when like, you know, when like the new wave of hip hop came in, people like a lot of the old school heads like weren't kind of vibing, you know, with like the sort of melodic rap kind of stuff, you know, the mumble rap kind of stuff. They were like, oh, man, what the fuck is this shit? But then, you know, a new rapper comes in with like that old school kind of flavor, and you're like, boom, 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 boom. I don't know where I was leading with that, but yeah, I really liked Ayakashi Triangle. 9 out of 10. Yeah, let's just do our outro here. I'm gonna, I guess with like this 12, right? I'll go top to bottom on like my favorites to like my least favorite, right? So my number one anime, like first impressions, first episode, what I think is the best anime out of the 12 is UniteUp, the idol anime. I think everyone should watch that. It's Cloverworks, so it's well animated, like main character is hot. I think a lot of people would enjoy this anime. I think even like as like a what do you call it, first, I know a lot of people don't really like idol animes, and even more people don't like male idol animes. If you don't give a shit about any of that, I think you would enjoy this anime, because like I think it's pretty well done. I'm not gonna lie. My second would be Trigun. This is coming from someone who didn't watch the original. Maybe someone who watched the original might have different opinions, but I was thoroughly impressed with the first episode of Trigun, and I recommend other people to watch it. I'm not gonna lie. Third, Tomo-chan. I think Tomo-chan, it was one of my favorite mangas when it was coming out, and I think they're adapting it very well. You know, Rie Takahashi is an amazing voice actress, and she just killed Tomoe. Like Like that tomboy voice is amazing. Same with, I have to check again, Lexi. Yeah, Lexi on the English dub. I think she does an amazing job as well. But I'm probably gonna stick with sorry about this. With the Japanese version, just because I'm just that big of a fan of Rie. Like legit, if Tomo was voiced by any other voice actress, I probably will be watching the dub, because they're doing a simul dub where like exact same time the sub comes out, the dub comes out, which I think is amazing. And yeah, like I would be watching the dub otherwise, like, but yeah, like this Rie, she's just so damn cute. Number 4, Nagatoro. What can I say? I like being teased. Ah, that sounds terrible, doesn't it? Number 5, Mou Ippon. I think probably the most underrated anime in this bunch, and I think probably going to be for the season. I don't hear anyone talking about this anime, and I think it's very impressive what this first episode showed. Like in terms of animation, like the way the fights are animated, the color palettes, the characters. It seems like it has a lot coming for it. Though, like, this is a first episode thing. Maybe it goes downhill from here. I could be off base, but yeah, like I only have the first episode to judge off it. So, but I'm saying Mou Ippon's number 5 for me. Number 6, Spy Classroom. I do think a big part of that is that they have like a list of voice actors for all the girls, and I'm like I feel like that just gives it so much potential. And from this first episode that we've seen, I think I'm interested to see how they start to develop a lot of the other characters, because they really only developed Lily, the main girl, and where it heads from here. I'm interested. It has a little bit of that Assassination Classroom vibes to it, and you know, I love Assassination Classroom. I only read the manga. I haven't finished the anime. I should do that. But yeah, that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's my top 6. My bottom 6. Not that these are at all bad anime, but you know, the bottom 6, 7. It sounds funny when I say the bottom 6 and then number 7. Ayakashi Triangle. Like I said, it feels like a classic 2000s ecchi anime, and I love that shit. What can I say? Number 8, Vinland Saga. I think what carries this show a lot is that we know Vinland Saga is good. So, you know, I have high hopes for the season. But off this first episode, not much to go off, but it's obviously building up to something. So, and I think Vinland Saga earned its right to be able to build up into something. So, you know, like that feels like I should give it reason to like go off. I think it's also a personal preference thing as well. Like, if you haven't realized by now, I love slice of life probably way more than anything else. That maybe that's a detriment to this list, and you shouldn't even listen to me, but that's why Vinland Saga is number 8. Number 9, Tokyo Revengers. Honestly, would be a trash anime if it wasn't so good. That sounds hilarious. It would be an amazing anime if it wasn't for Takemichi, but you know, that's just my opinion. And I also realized that you kind of need Takemichi. What was that? So I did 7, 8, 9. Then number 10 would be NieR. Like I said, I feel like it's a game adaptation anime. It seems 1 for 1 so far. Like, not completely 1 for 1, but like, I don't know if they're gonna be like differing the story a little bit at all. And if it's gonna be a 1 for 1 like this, you might as well just play the game or watch a playthrough or whatever like your way of experiencing games is. Number 11, InuHiro. I want to be Inukai's dog. Yeah, that's not last. And the only reason it's not last is because fan service. Number 12, Ours, because that shit was boring as fuck. I would drop it, but you know, might as well give it a chance. So yeah, that's the end of episode 1, week 1 of winter anime review. If this series is just gonna be like 2 hours long per episode, I feel like that's manageable. Like, that's way better than 3-4 hours in my opinion. So if I like keep it to this kind of length every week, I feel like I can do this. So yeah, like if you're down to be with me every week, I'm gonna be doing this every Wednesday. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe. See you guys next week.